Okay. For the people who are taking online JYP today at 11 o'clock, you will be receiving a link, and whoever is offline or online, everyone has to be on Microsoft Teams with your cams on. That is an update, Sujata. So everything has been set up. You will be receiving your Teams link on Slack. Okay, and then we will discuss from there on at 11 o'clock. Okay. Right. We had some problems setting up the things. Now it is all done. Right. I got 2 days of holidays, right? So I've done something productive. Okay. Right. Fine, sir. There is one more thing. Okay. So ఓళ్ళకి వెళ్ళిన వాళ్ళు రేపు పొద్దున ఇక్కడ ఉండాలి సార్ ఇవాళ లాస్ట్ మీకు ఓకే అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ ద పీపుల్ హూ హ్యావ్ బీన్ for example there were approximately 3 or 4 people who have asked me for 1 week time. Rest of the people kindly be here by tomorrow, right? ఉగాది అయిపోయిందిగా పంచాంగం వినేసారా బానే ఉంది ఈ సంవత్సరం, right? So tomorrow be here. Okay, right. నేను ఇప్పుడు పంచాంగం మీకు ఏమని చెప్పారు? సాక్షి టీవీ పెడితే నెక్స్ట్ టైం కూడా జగనే సీఎం అన్నారు పంచాంగంలో. ఆంధ్రజ్యోతిలోనేమో చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు సీఎం అవుతారని చెప్పారు. ఇప్పుడు రెండిట్లో ఏది నిజం అంటారు? యా, అవేమీ కాదు, మనమే నిజం. ఫోకస్ ఆన్ వాట్ యు డూ, రైట్? ఓకే, రైట్ సార్. హౌ కెన్ వి రైట్ బిలో స్టేట్మెంట్? ఓ గుడ్, బట్ వీఆర్ నాట్ దేర్ యెట్. యా, రైట్ సార్. Sandeep, we will reach there, sir. Today we'll be going little bit into that direction of your question. Okay, right. So let us quickly look at what we have done in the last session. So in the last session, we have started making our template look little bit better. We had 4 subnets, and rather than writing resource 4 times, we have used something called as count. Okay, right. So now still I'll be working on AWS, and then we will apply everything on Azure at one shot. Okay, right. Visual Studio Code. Terraform does not destroy resources with var not deleting resources. I didn't understood your question, sir. Okay, when we used to create resources with vars, this one not destroy. What this one? This ante naakala meeku naaku telisi emana jariginda? This ante enti? What is this there? Right. Okay, sir. So if you try to look at the things over here, okay, try to look at my inputs. What is it I wanted to create? One virtual network, and how many variables am I creating? 1, 2, 3, 4. First thing is I want to avoid this. So are you seeing there is some pattern? In the last class before ending, we have discussed. For the first subnet, it is 192.168.0.0/24. For the second subnet, it is 192.168.0.1, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. If you remember, we have count.index, which gives us 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, right, sir. Sir, for whatever Terraform questions which you have, can we pause it for some time, and at the last we'll discuss? Yeah, let me finish this. Okay, right. Sir, how to go back to second step in TFs? There is no second step, sir. There are no steps, first of all. There is state. With every apply, a new state gets created. Okay, right. Okay, so I want to avoid this, right? So let me basically go to this folder, reveal in File Explorer. Yeah. In certain cases, if I am not answering, that is because either you have basically asking something which you have not covered. Okay, right. Fine, sir. I don't want this. I don't want this nonsense. I want this to be generated. Okay. So to generate this, what is that we have? So is there some relation between these and these things? Yes. So from VPC range, I want to generate subnet CADRs. Okay. Right. So Terraform functions. And if you remember yesterday, we have used some function which is called as length, which has to do with collections. Okay. Right. Come on, man. ఏం కేబుల్ ధరించారు నాకు ఇంత దరిద్రంగా ఉంది రోజు పెట్టేది అదేనా అదేనా దీని పంచాంగం బాగాలేదు అనుకుంటా ఈ సంవత్సరం ఓకే రైట్ సార్ ఈ సింగ్ ఐపీ ఫంక్షన్స్ యా వేర్ ఇస్ దట్ లిస్ట్ okay fine whatever it is sir if we are you seeing IP functions over here so there are some functions over here where there is something called a CADR subnet okay right let's generate subnet CADR ranges so first let me try to show you how to do that let me go with Terraform console remember console yes so let me go to this console and then there is one interesting function which is called as CADR subnet in CADR subnet function let us try to look at what it tries to speak about it tries to tell that give me prefix give me how many bits are you playing with and give me the number okay so now prefix is nothing but your network's range my network range is 192.168.0.0/16 and what is my subnet range sir 24 so 24 to 16 what is the distance 16 నుండి 24 ప్రయాణానికి ఎన్ని అంకెలు తేడా ఉంటుంది సార్ 8 right 8 thank you okay so that is the next thing 8 and what is the count of the subnet which you are trying to speak about are you getting this yeah now CADR subnet 192.168.0.0/16 okay and then here again distance is 8 this time count dot index is 1 is it automatically generating now let us assume that I have not used this series I have used some other series then also it's fine 10.10.0.0/16 I'm speaking about 8 bits and my position is 4 ఏదో మిస్ చేశాను నేను CIDR సబ్నెట్ కదా CIDR subnet of 10.10.0.0/16 8 4 so are we able to dynamically calculate the thing sir then why should I basically have a list for that there is no need okay that is what I would be doing does it make sense yeah so all the user need to do is just give VPC range That is enough for me. No. Okay. So there is one more function which is called as CADR subnets. Here what you can do is you can try to tell how many subnets do you want. Okay. So in this, if I try to use something which looks like this, CADR subnets of 10 comma or 10.10.0.0/16. I'm speaking about 8 bits. Okay. Right. I'm speaking about 8 bits and then okay, what is it? CADR prefix new bits. Okay, right. And then 8 1 minute. 4 4. Okay, I'm speaking about 8 bits, 8 and 8. So here it is giving me a list of 4 subnets because I said that I want 4 subnets with 8 bits distance with each. Okay, so for us there is no need for us to use this because we can dynamically generate this stuff. Let me go over here and I will not be using this anymore. Yeah, and in the place of this for count I'll be using subnet names. Remember we need to calculate length. Yeah, but what will be the CADR block? I'll be trying to tell that my CADR block will be CADR subnet. Okay, and in that the first argument will be var dot entire VPC range, and after that I'm speaking about 8, and the next argument will be I have to give what is the count. So my count will be count dot. Is this better, sir? Yeah. So there is no need for me to even worry about these inputs anymore. So I'll go over here and I'll remove this nonsense. All I need to give is just enter VPC range. Does this make sense? Even if I have to create 50 subnets, try to tell me the range. Give me what is the number of subnets which you want and what is the distance. I'll give 8 and then I can basically pass and it will generate as many as you want. Okay, good. Now, these are subnet names and then VPC range. Why should I have 3 variables? Can't I make it 1? That will be our next approach. But first, let us try to fix this part. Let us see whether this works or not. So what will be the first statement? Terraform FMT. Yes. And then Terraform apply. I'm not doing validate. I'm just doing apply. Okay. So if you try to see, it tries to tell that okay, this is what I'm going to do. Okay. Right. Now I'll try to tell no, and then Terraform destroy. Let it destroy, but let us try to see what it says speaks about. It speaks about 4 subnets and it is trying to tell that all the values will be replaced. The reason for that is in the last class we have passed values dot tfvars. Now I have not passed it, so it is taking default values. Okay, let me remove that so that I'll try to apply and then see all the 4 subnets getting created. Okay, Terraform apply. I'll not apply it. I'll just show you in the output. What does it look like? Terraform is trying to tell that my plan is to add 5 things. First thing which I'll be creating is VPC. My VPC range is 192.168.0.0/60. But if I have passed a var file, then it would have been 10.100. Whatever it is. Okay. And then it is trying to tell that I'm going to create 4 subnets. This is the fourth one. Of 3 means fourth, right? So where it is 3.0, this is 2.0, this is 1.0, this is 0.0. Is it working? Yes. I'll try to tell. No. Okay, sir. Now Terraform data types. So if you try to look into Terraform types, we know string, we know number, we know bool, we know list. But now what I want is, I want to have this map or object. Okay. Why? What are the inputs which I have in Terraform now, sir? నేను ఇస్తున్న input ఏంటి? I am giving VPC range, I am giving subnets availability zones, and I am giving subnet names. So what I'll try to tell is, I'll try to tell that variable, okay, and then let me try to give entire hyphen VPC hyphen info type. Okay, so my type could be object, or my type could be map. So whenever I'm trying to tell my type is map, I need to tell what is that information. What is that information of how I can pass this information. Okay, so let us basically go with Terraform input variables, and in Terraform input variables, let me try to use using type. Type is list of object, or type is object. In object, what are the things which you are going to pass? So I'll try to tell that I'm going to pass an object, and my object will have following items. What is the first one? VPC underscore CIDR. This will be of type string. Any problem with this? Any problem with this, sir? I don't want to have 3 variables. I want to have only 1 variable. So I'm trying to write all the 3 in one place. So, and this is of type string. And what is the next thing? Yeah, subnet underscore AZs is equals to list of string. And then subnet underscore names is equals to also list of string. And then what is the default value? Are you getting the values? My default value is, my VPC range is 192.168.0.0/16. My subnet AZs are, I want to create 4. So A, B, A, and B. My subnet names are app1, app2, db1, and db2. Any problem with this? Okay, right. Now let me go over here, and what is my variable's name? Variable parent entire VPC. Entire VPC info is array of, okay, so 10.100. Okay, and now subnet names. So let me go to input. Subnet names is, okay, subnet is okay. Is it necessary to go give this? No, nothing necessary. Whatever we have written earlier also was working. This is just the better way of doing this. Now how many variables am I dealing with? Only 2 variables. One is region, the other one is whole of VPC info in one variable. Okay, now over here, okay, how should I use this? Okay, so Now I can't use this directly, right? Because there is nothing called as this now. So let me try to write var dot, okay, entire underscore variable entire underscore VPC underscore info. It's okay. Let me bring it back. Okay. Now let me go over here. Length of, I have a variable whose name is var dot entire underscore VPC dot info, and in this I need to know name of subnets. What is that variable where we have subnet names? It is dot subnet names. Okay. So in the earlier case, we used to write var dot directly. Now we are trying to write var dot object name dot value inside that. Okay. Right. So now what is the next thing? I want to give var dot entire VPC info dot, what is the name where we will have subnet is subnet underscore ASIS. Okay. Now VPC underscore CIDR. Okay. Now tag names also will be var dot. Okay. Now let me try to do Terraform first FMT and then Terraform validate. Let us see whether we have written all the syntaxes right or not. Okay. So what is it trying to tell? Var dot enter VPC range in main.tf. Okay. There is no variable with this name. Okay. Right, sir. Now Terraform. Right, sir. So let me go with Terraform console to basically show you what I have done. Okay. So what was my variable name, sir? What is the variable name? Entire. So if I try to write var dot entire VPC info, I'll get all of this. Okay, but I want only VPC CIDR. So what is that I'll be doing? Var dot entire VPC info dot VPC underscore CIDR. Are you getting this? So I want only subnet names. So var dot subnet underscore names. So am I getting only this? Yeah. So this is what I've done. This is basically what I've done. Okay. Right. Now one more thing which we need to do is, generally the one mistake which we have tried to do is, okay, whenever you are trying to give names to the variables, okay, stick to one thing. Either go with underscores or either go with hyphens. So I have given hyphens. I want to replace these hyphens with underscores. Let us use underscores everywhere. Okay. There is no problem with giving underscores, but the name has to be consistent, right? So here also it will be underscores. మనకి దీంతో పని లేదు. Okay. And then in main.tf, okay, yeah. So use the same pattern everywhere. Use either underscores or use either hyphens. Okay. Now let me try to do exit and Terraform FMT and then Terraform validate. Okay. Now Terraform apply hyphen var hyphen file is equals to dot slash values dot tfrs, right? Yeah, and then you ideally you should be using hyphen auto approve. Yeah. Now let us try to see what it is trying to tell. It is trying to tell that I'm going to create 10.100.0.0/16, and it is 10.100.3.0, 2.0, 1.0, and 0.0. So is Terraform giving an information of something which is planning to which it is planning to create? So this is something which is called as Terraform plan. What is it, sir? Terraform plan. So Terraform plan is generated whenever is it working or is it still paused? People on the web, sir, is it working or is it still paused? Is there some movement on the screen? Okay, sir. Okay. The point which I was trying to tell is, now let me go over here and delete all the files which we don't have. So I have written only these files, right? I'm removing all of them except this. This is what we have written. Do you agree with me on this? Yeah. So in Terraform, whenever I do Terraform init, provider gets downloaded. Okay. So when provider gets downloaded, we get two files. One is .terraform folder, and then you will be getting on lock file. Okay. So are you seeing terraform.lock.html? Yeah. Right. Now let me try to tell Terraform apply. What is it I want to do? I want to apply. So I'll try to tell apply. And when I do apply, what will happen? Terraform will check for the state file. Do we have any state file here? Here state file and no, we have deleted everything. There is no state. Okay. And then did we configure provider? Yes, we configured provider. Now Terraform will cross check with provider and state file to figure out. Okay. Here there are three inputs. What are they? So you have state file, you have your template, and then you have what is present in the provider. Okay. Our end goal is to correct this. So right now there is no state. There is only two things now, template and provider. So what it does is it will try to basically speak with or check with provider if there is anything whatever you have written is already present over there or not. So it says nothing is provided. So it is trying to tell that I'm going to add all the five. Now you try to tell yes. When you try to tell yes, what Terraform does initially is, let us look at the folder once it has created. Okay. So are you seeing .tf state file? Yeah. And let me show more options. Edit with Notepad++. Are you seeing this? It has stored in the JSON format what it has created. Okay. We will be diving deeper into this, but ideally, as on today, never mess with this file. This is not created by you. This is what Terraform has created. Okay. Now, next time I am doing Terraform, apply again. So this time when I am doing apply, okay, what are the things which we have? I have state, which represents what it has created last time. There is a provider where you have to create, and there is something which you have written. Now Terraform will first check in the provider what is present versus what you have asked versus what you have created last time. Okay, the difference between all of these three things will be your plan. Okay, so to create something in plan, what I'll do is I'll basically go over here, inputs or various values.tf vars. Let me go over here and then let me try to tell that 192.168.0.0/16, and I want to create two more subnets, web1 and web2, because now it is possible, right? All I need to do is I need to just give this information. I've made it dynamic. Yes. So in the last case, we have created 4 subnets. Now in the template, what is that I'm asking? 6. Okay. So now you look at this. Your state speaks about 4. Your provider also speaks about 4. But what is your template speaking about? 6, 4, and 4. Let us see what apply will try to tell. Apply is figuring out what is the difference. Okay. Oh, input pass చేయాలి కదా, చేయకుండా ఎలా తీసుకుంటది? -var hyphen file is equals to values.tf vars. So your values are trying to speak about 6 subnets. What you have is 4. State also has information about 4 files. So I think it is trying to tell that my plan is to add 2 more subnets, one at 4, the other one at 5. Now let me click on yes. So totally how many subnets will be present now? 6. And that information will be uploaded into your state file. That is what this update is. Are we clear on this, sir? Yeah. So next time, what I want is, I want to, for example, I want to rename certain things or change certain things, change the variable, execute this. You will understand what happens. So plan is basically what Terraform is going to do. How will Terraform figure out what it is going to do? It will check in the provider. It will check what you have written, and it will check what it has done last time. What it has done last time is Terraform state file. Okay. Right. Are we clear on this, sir? Yes. Yeah. Right. Okay, sir. Now get add dot get commit hyphen m added changes to use object. So is this one variable way looking better? Yeah. So even if you find it difficult using multiple variables, there is no harm. Using one variable is a better way of doing it. But still not many people do that. Okay. If they are not comfortable with variables. Now what is it I have done? I have replaced all of this with just one variable. Okay, I like this way. You might not, your organization might not be liking. In that case, they might go with multi-variable. Even the previous change, there was nothing wrong. Even the previous change, there was nothing wrong. Okay, but one thing which I want, one thing which you have done, which everyone should be doing is, there is no need for you to create variables for something which you can generate. Variable ఏదైతే మనం జనరేట్ చేసేయగలమో ఆ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ దాన్ని కూడా పాస్ చేస్తాం ఎందుకు? So subnet CIDR range could be generated. So there is no need for me to expect that input from the user. So that's the reason I have used CIDR subnet function. Yeah. So now refer here for the changes done to use CIDR subnet and uh, CIDR subnet function and object input type. Okay, right. So shall I do the same thing for Azure now? So in the Azure also I want 4 subnets now, or 4 or 3 subnets, web, app and DB. Let us see how do I deal with that. So more Azure. So in Azure, if I have to create subnets, so after creating the virtual network, you can go and add subnets just like how we have done in. So let me go over here. So let me create virtual network. Okay, I have something called as Qt Linux VNet. I don't know where it came from, but fine, it is good. So using subnets. So all I need to do is add a subnet, give the name of the subnet, something like web, and give the CIDR range over here, and then click on save. Okay. In the same way, I can add as many subnets as what they are basically present. Okay. Now Azure. Let's add subnets. Refer below for manual steps. Okay, sir. I'm not adding anything. Linux. Okay. All right. It is maintaining previous to previous state also. I'll speak about state a little bit more, sir. We'll have at least one day of whole discussion only on state file. So for now, just understand that state is previous successful configuration applied. Okay, there are many things which you need to understand about state, how to read that file and all of that. I've not spoken about that information. Okay, right. Okay, sir. Now let me go over here. So if you try to look at this over here, I've just given virtual network range. So Terraform Azure provider. Go over here. We have created VNet if you remember already. Now what is that I want to create? Subnet. So Azure RM subnet. So I want to create 4 subnets. I want to create 4 subnets. So what are the arguments which I need to pass? Name, resource group name, virtual network name and address prefixes. Okay, good. So let us look at this stuff. cd dot cd Azure. I have deleted all of this. So let me remove all the unnecessary stuff from here. Let us start from beginning. I don't need this. Yeah, right. So ideally to create a subnet, what is that I need to do is I need to basically try to tell that resource Azure RM underscore subnet, and then I should be calling it as web subnet. Okay, so in web subnet I will be giving name as web and then resource group name. Okay, so now we understand the concept of attributes anyway. So I'll be using Azure RM underscore dot name. Yes or no? Can I use this? Because I have an attribute. Attribute is output of something. Here I've created a resource group. So resource group's output will try to tell me the name. Okay. And then what is the other thing which I want to give? Address prefixes. So in address prefixes, I'll be using something like there is already a variable over here. So variable web range. Okay. Type is equals to list of string. Default value is equals to 192.168.0.0/24. Okay. Now let me go over here, and then over here let me try to tell that the value is var dot web range. And then what is the other value which they wanted me to give for sure? Name, resource group name, virtual network name. Okay. Virtual network name is equals to Azure RT underscore virtual network dot. Okay. Okay. But this resource, it is always a good idea to write depends on. To create a subnet, I should be creating it after virtual network is created. Any problem on this so far? This is the same thing which we have done in AWS also. First I have created a network, and then I am creating subnet. But the point is I don't want one subnet, I want multiple subnets. So writing this is nonsense. Writing this is nonsense. So what is that we said? I'll not be using this. Okay, I'll be trying to tell that how many subnets do you want? Variable subnet underscore names. Type is equals to list of string. Default is equals to, I want 3 subnets. Let us assume I'll be trying to write as web, app, and DB. If I want 6, I'll be writing web 1, web 2, DB1, DB2, app 1, app 2. How many you want to write? Okay. And then that's enough. So I'll go over here and I'll try to tell that, okay, first of all, don't do this. Let me call this as subnets. And how many do you want to create? So there is something called as count. There is a function which is called as length. In the length, you try to tell that you are depending on a variable whose name is, what is the name? Subnet names. And name of this is var dot subnet underscore names of count dot index. Am I clear on this, sir? Yeah. Now, in address prefixes, whenever you are trying to give, I'll be trying to tell that I want address prefix in such a way that it will be CIDR subnet. Remember CIDR subnet function? Var dot, okay, what is it? VNet range, but that is a list. So I'm taking the first item out of it. And then 8, and then count dot index. Any problem with this? ఏమి అర్థమవుతున్నట్లేదా? ఎలాబొరేట్ చేసి సిగ్గుగా అనిపించలేదా అడుగుతానికి? What is that I have done? I have taken 3 items, and then in AWS, how many subnets did we create? 6 subnets. So how did we create multiple subnets? That means during Ugadi, you have not even looked into Terraform. Am I correct? Is my assumption right? Yeah. Loop చేయలే మనం. చేసామా చేయలేదా? చేశారా? చేతి ఈ ప్రశ్న అడగరు మీరు. Because it is nothing but a loop. Okay. Right. Let me remove all of this. Okay. Let me try to go get reset hyphen hard. Okay, sir. I've just brought it to the state like how it was before. Okay. So what is that I have? I have only virtual network. Now I want to create 3 subnets. I want to create 3 subnets, web, app, and DB. So to create one subnet, what it is trying to tell is this is your example usage. You need to do this. You need to do this. So what is that I need to pass? Name, resource group name, virtual network name, and address prefixes. But I have to do this for 3 subnets. That means that one way is writing this 3 times, which we already decided that that is not a good idea. Let us use something called as count. So now what I am trying to do is, let me go over here. I am trying to tell that resource Azure RM underscore subnet. And then I want to create all the subnets at one shot. So that's the name I'm calling it as subnets. And how many subnets do I want? 3 subnets. So I'm writing count as 3. Okay. And then ఇంకోసారి ఎప్పుడు నాతో చేయించొద్దు, ఆల్రెడీ అయిపోయింది దాన్ని మళ్ళీ అడిగి. ఓకే రైట్. సో నేమ్ equals to, first time it should have name called as web, second time it should have name called as app, third time it should have name called as db. So to store that information, I am basically creating a variable which is called as subnet underscore names. So when I am storing multiple information, it is list of string. Default value is web, app, and db. So over here what I'll try to do is, name is var dot subnet names of count.index, because count.index will have what is the current count. First resource when it is creating, it will have 0, second resource 1, third resource 2. Okay, right, fine. Now the next thing which it wants is resource group name. So we already have created the resource group name over here. So it is not a good idea anymore to use this static stuffs. Anyway, we have attributes Azure RM dot resource group dot enter rg dot name. What is an attribute? Attribute is output of something which you have created. Okay. In resource groups output, there is something called as name. And then there is something called as virtual network name. Did we already created a virtual network? Yes. So now let me basically go over here. Azure RM underscore virtual underscore network. Okay. No. Where is network? Yeah. Attributes. Are you seeing name here? So that's the reason I'm trying to tell Azure RM underscore virtual network dot name dot name. Is it done? Okay. Now let me come back. So the next thing which I need to pass over here to the subnet is, okay, I need to pass address prefixes. But the problem is address prefixes is in the list. In the case of AWS, it was directly string. Now it is in list. So what I'll try to do is, I'll be trying to write, okay, address prefixes is array of, and here I need to pass for the first time, I need to pass something like 192.168.0.0/24. Second time I need to change this to 192.168.1.0, 2.0. Okay. To generate this dynamically, just now we have figured out there is CIDR subnet function. So what I'm trying to do is, I'm replacing this with CIDR subnet. And in this, I'm trying to write var dot vnet hyphen range. So, but if you try to look at var dot vnet range, is it string or list of string? Out of this, we want the first item. I don't want all the items. So for that reason, I'm trying to write it of 0. Any problem here? No. Now I'm passing 8, which means I want 24. And then I'm trying to tell that the position will be count dot index. Now will it generate the values? Yes. So this is what I have done. Okay. First, let me update this. Then I'll try to replace this 3 with something better. Okay. Right. So why something better? We already have this, right? So I'm replacing this with length of var dot subnet names. Is this better, sir? Yeah. Now Terraform FMT. Terraform validate. It will try to tell that there is no provider. So let me execute Terraform in it. Okay. Now Terraform apply. So when I do apply, it will try to cross check what is that you have written versus what is that is present on the cloud versus what is there in the state file. So right now we don't have any state file. So whatever is present in the whatever you have written, everything has to be created. Okay. Right. While it is doing its job, let me try to look at this. Okay. So how many inputs am I passing? VNet range and subnet names. I don't want two different names. If I want one stuff, then I'll go for a object. Then I'll go for a object. The choice is yours. Whether you want to go for two or whether you are happy with one variable, that is a choice which you can basically use. Okay. What is ID in the attributes? If you know Azure for every resource which it creates generates an ID. That is what is an ID. Okay. Right. So what is it trying to tell? I'm going to create a virtual network for you, and then I'm going to create subnets for you, and I'm going to create 2, 1, and 0. That means 3 subnets. And before all of that, I'm going to create a resource group for you. Okay. Right. So generally, it is always a good idea. I'll try to still write it as no. It is a good idea to basically add dependencies. So what is it I'll be trying to tell? This depends on Azure RM underscore virtual network. So subnets depend on virtual networks. Virtual networks depend on resource group. So the order of creation would be first resource group will be created, then virtual network will be created, then subnets will be created. Right? So is it fine, sir? Yeah. Now get or let me try to tell Terraform FMT Terraform validate and Terraform apply. But before apply, I want to do one small change. Values.tfvars. So VNet range. What is the other one? Subnet names. I don't want to change subnet names. I'm okay with those 3 names. Okay. If I want to create 4 subnets, I would give the different subnet names. So Terraform apply -var -file is equals to values.tfvars, and then I'm using -auto approve. So I just want to look at the plan, but I don't want to stop and cross check. Let us see what happens. Try doing this activity. Daily class వచ్చి ఇనేసి వెళ్ళిపోతే ఉపయోగం లేదు. మీరు ఇనేసి వెళ్ళిపోతారంటే ప్రవచనాలు ఏర్పాటు చేస్తాను. అయితే పుణ్యమన్నా అవుతుంది. Right? Daily सुन के नहीं जाना, कुछ करना है. हाँ? 2 दिन छुट्टी आ गया तो सोना नहीं है. At least आधा दिन तो पढ़ाई करते. Right? So it is creating 5 things. Let us look at ranges because that is what is interesting for us. 10.10.0 to 10.100.2.0. Yeah. Come on. Okay. While it is doing its job. Log file got in. This log file should not be in your Git, sir. For the people who know Git, ignore that file. That should not be part of your version control. Okay. Right. Refer here for the changes done. So let me go to Azure, go into virtual networks, refresh it. Are you seeing enter VNet? And in enter VNet, let me go to the subnets. You should be seeing 3 subnets: web app and DB, with subnets which look like this. Okay. Now let me do first. Let me give a screenshot of this. Okay. So once you know Terraform, it doesn't matter in which cloud you are creating it, as long as you know what your inputs are, what are their types, and why should you pass that input. Okay. Now just for the sake of it, what I'll try to do is I'll go over here in values.tf. Okay. I'll be passing subnet names. What are the default values? Web app and DB, right? Let me try to pass web app DB, and let me add 2 more: MGMT and ADDS. So how many subnets did I add? 2 subnets. So whatever you have written is asking for 5 subnets. What is present is 3. Terraform state is also speaking about 3 things. Now, if you try to do Terraform apply, let me not do hyphen auto approve. Let me do this. So what will plan speak about? Plan will speak about you have asked me for 5, 3 are already created, 2 are yet to be created. So I'm going to create 2 subnets. Let us see is that what this plan will be about or not. Did you understood this concept of plan? Yeah. So what will Terraform do whenever you are trying to apply? Cross check with the provider with what you have written and what was previously generated. Okay. So we are playing with 3 things over here: provider, state, and template. Yeah. Okay. Is it trying to tell the same thing? So you have asked me for 5, but 3 are already present. 2 are not present. Now you try to tell. Yes. So it will try to create the rest. So whenever you are learning with Terraform, the reason why I start with virtual network is not other EC2 machines or virtual machines is these are free. In any cloud, creating virtual network and subnets is free resource. They will not charge you. When you create hundreds of times also, there is no bill that is generated. And in that process itself, we can learn Terraform. That is the logic for using this. Okay. దీంట్లో మీరు ఎన్ని తప్పులు చేసినా బిల్ వచ్చే అవకాశం లేదు. Right. But if I start showing you creating a virtual machine, every time you try to tell Terraform apply, if a new virtual machine is created every time, 750 times your free time is gone. Okay. Right. So learn Terraform on free resources, network, VNet, which will not, there will not be any bills. Okay. Right. Now let me go over here. Are you seeing 4 or 5? Sorry. Right. Good. So let me say Terraform destroy. I don't want them in the next class. Right. So this we will try to write it much better. So I have shown you 2 approaches. One was using one variable for entire VPC. Here I am using 2 variables. One for VNet information, the other one for subnet information. If you want, you can combine this also. So here also you can create a map with 2 elements. Okay. One is VNet range, the other one is subnet names. So rather than writing 2 variables, you can pass 1 variable if that is what you want. If you want it simple, leave it like this. There is no problem in leaving it like this. Okay. Good, sir. Fine. Is it interesting, sir? Even if it is not, you don't have much of choice. Okay. నచ్చినా నచ్చకపోయినా చేసుకోవాలి, పడాల్సిందే. Right. Need to time to discuss on this question. When can I reach you? Right. So call me after 10 o'clock, sir. For the online JOP students, ensure that you are available at 11 o'clock. You are available at 11 o'clock. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.